Hey everyone. I just had a call with Katie and with our financial shaman, Larry, and we did some really cool work with Katie. She had a whole kind of big revelation about this move to Albuquerque and the life change that's happening for us, and how this is really such a going home for her in so many ways, going back to take over the school where she attended as a toddler, and it sort of put a context around some of my experiences right now too, which are one of the things that's been coming up for me today, again, sort of from talking with Larry a little bit and reflecting on the last week or so of this piano course, is that there's I just keep being so excited and so grateful that this is happening, and so amazed at how deep people are going right away, like how deep these students are really like diving in. I think I mentioned yesterday I've been reading their journals, and I gave them each a Google Doc to do some journaling, some piano journaling, and it's like, whoa, it's just such amazing stuff, and so much like awareness that is coming through them, and like digging into really big things. And one of the things that Larry said today that was really kind of key for me was, because I was talking about how I'm structuring the course and how I'm thinking about what it wants to be and where it's going and all that. And one of the things he said was, it's really kind of cool to think about it as like the skeleton and the flesh, right? Like you get the skeleton kind of is like the outline, and then you don't flesh it out until later. And one of the things, because I've been having this tendency to want to construct and to write the curriculum more extensively and to know kind of what each week of the course is going to be. And I have some rough outlines. My first week, I ended up kind of starting in a really open way, but then pretty quickly getting an outline together for the first week that I followed essentially. And I have, of course, a sense of the second week and maybe even the third week at this point, like where we might go. But one of the things that Larry was pointing out was like, just sometimes you got to just receive, like let the students tell you where they want to go. And it was just kind of affirming an experience that I had this morning where I was about to do my first piano pod with these students. So that means my first like group piano lesson. And I had a loose, kind of bullet point outline in my mind of how I was going to go about it. And I've done one or two of these before, so I had some sense, but I also really was leaving room for it to kind of be to discover. I told them on the call, I was like, this is pretty much the most beta part of this beta program is these pods, because it's the element of like group piano lessons that's kind of the most unknown to me in terms of like what's the potential there, what can come through, why am I having this urge to do that? I have some idea, but I also feel like I'm opening a door to something where if I'm just sensitive and available, so much can come through that I am not necessarily anticipating. And right before the call, like maybe a half hour before I was going to get on the call with them, I had this idea for a meditation. I was like, oh, this like meditation just started popping into my mind about sitting at the piano and being in a concert hall and like listening to the space and then letting the music come out of my heart, and then myself kind of dividing and being both the creator of the music and the listener of the music. And it just like I just poured out of me. I started typing it, I started writing it down, and it just came out. And I did it on the call, And again, I was kind of like ready to do it, ready to not do it. I was like, I don't want to like impose this meditation if it doesn't feel right. But I started the call and it immediately felt right. It was like, oh yeah, that's a great way of like opening a space into what it now means to have multiple people in the room, hearing each other play, in a very unstructured way, not as a performance. This is lessons, and first week people are starting with they're just getting started. Sometimes people are picking up the piano after many years of not touching it, or starting really with almost no background at all. So it was just a great way to kind of create a space of possibility um, and availability for beauty, and I was really grateful that I listened to that, and that I also didn't have too many preconceptions this morning about what I wanted to do. That I made space for that to come through, and it's this weird thing of like trusting that the moment that the moment is providing, the moment will providing. It's always coming through. The mind, the sort of mental thinker in me wants to know what I'm going to say so that I'm safe, so that I make sure I'm delivering a good experience, so that I'm, making sure that people are having a good time or having a good experience or whatever it is. But that deeper trust of like, it's coming through. It's coming through them as much as it's coming through me. Allow that. That's really, and then Larry just kind of like literally labeling that and affirming that was really a powerful thing today. I was like, oh, yes, this is right. We really are creating this course together, and I'm listening and I'm here, but I'm also along for the ride almost as much as my students are. So super cool, really beautiful day. And I'm just looking forward to the coming week. It's so much fun. So that's where I am today, people. I love you all. I appreciate you. So glad you're in my life. And I'll see you soon.